FangoriaRadio.com.
Just talking about Devil's Den, the Ken Vori movie. It has a blooper reel in a horror movie.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to have a blooper reel after a serious horror movie.
Well, it had a lot of comedic moments in there. But
do you like blooper reels, honestly?
Yeah, I like blooper reels.
Do you?
In a comedy, I like blooper reels.
Do you, Tony?
Yeah, sometimes.
But you know what? That wore off. Remember years ago when they made the first TV show with blooper reels, and then somebody would say, "Oh, damn, I missed my line." And that's all it was, like constantly these actors saying, forget it.
Laughing,
it got boring.
Well, the best ones actually used to be at the end of the Cannonball Run movies.
Yes.
During the credits, they would have Dom DeLuise. That was some great, Burt Reynolds. That was great stuff there, actually.
The Jackie Chan bloopers are usually pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, welcome back to Fangoria Radio. I may have forgotten to say that. Sirius Channel 102. Our phone number is 1-888-410-212, and our email address is dndebbie@fangoriaradio.com. We're going to be hearing from Dr. Acula, our grindcore band du jour, in just a little bit, and Debbie's going to be getting into This Week in Horror History. But right now, we have a trivia question. We got a prize to give away. It's a copy of Saw 3, unrated. Unhinged. What is rated? Everything's unrated now.
I know.
Sounds
good.
Blockbuster and everything's unrated.
Even though it is rated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the question again, Deb?
Which building, which was located in Essex, County in England, was known as the most haunted house in England?
Let's go to James in Florida. James, welcome to Fangoria Radio. How you doing?
Oh, hey.
Jamie. Oh, it's Jamie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. My microphone was blocking your full name there. So how you doing? All right?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Where in Florida are you?
Central Florida, Ocala.
Ocala. Got it. Okay, so what is the answer to the question, Jamie?
Borley Church and Rectory.
You are correct.
You are correct.
And you win Saw 3. And hold on, Jamie. We'll get your information, and we'll send it out to you, all right?
All right.
All right, keep listening to Fangoria Radio.
I'm impressed. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
You got to admit.
Tough even to pronounce.
About 7 years old, that kid.
I know. 7 years old, and she knows the answer.
Hey, they can Google.
I know.
My 10-year-old knows how to Google.
No, Jamie's not 7, but she's smart. I'll tell you that. Because if she can even spell Essex County in England, I give her full props.
Absolutely.
Full props.
So, Debbie.
It's about that time?
Yeah, I think it's time.
This week.
Persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Well, this week in horror history starts off with House on Haunted Hill, directed by William Castle, released February 17th, 1959, starring the great Vincent Price.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000.
No.
Or your next of kin in case you don't survive.
This is great stuff, man.
Whatever happened to using an oboe in the score for a horror movie? You don't hear that anymore.
No, but he was so great. I mean, and you know what's funny? That the classic, The House on Haunted Hill, the one that we just heard from with Vincent Price, was so much fun. And they remade it, and they made it so serious with no humor. I mean, that was like a major important component to the movie being so cool, was the humor in it, no?
Mm-hmm, yeah. What's interesting is the house still stands that they use in House on Haunted Hill. It was actually a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Really?
The famous architect.
Sure.
And it was right up the block from where Forry Ackerman used to live in the Hollywood Hills. So I remember going to visit Fari, and I'd look up the street, and there was the house on Haunted Hill.
Wow.
Let me ask Tony Timpone a question. Tony,
Yep.
Vincent Price, how did he get typecast as this horror guy? What set him on that course? Did he start right out from the beginning as being a horror guy, or you know the answer, Deb?
No, but I want to guess, and Tony, tell me if I'm correct, because he is one of the very few actors, that can deliver serious and campy lines at the same time well.
No, it's not a matter of why, but what career moment. I mean, for Robert Englund, Robert Englund did tons of movies, and then all of a sudden it was Nightmare on Elm Street, and his career was decided. That was the end.
Right. What was the
was
defining
it like
movie?
that for him?
Pretty much. Well, he used to be in a lot of costume dramas, but he tended to be, in the beginning, he was cast as a lot of dandies and, but slightly villainous type characters, like movies such as Dragonwick is a good example. Then he did House of Wax, and that cemented his reign in villainy.
That was it.
So there was a point where he became horror guy, and that's what I was curious about. There you have it.
We love him ever since. Freaks came out February 20th, 1932, directed by Todd Browning. And interestingly enough, it was banned for 30 years in the UK. For 30 years, they wouldn't show this movie because they found it offensive. They were using actual Barnum Bailey, what you would call then freaks.
What they call then freaks.
And now it would be disabled people.
Yeah.
The PC
Not
way
quite
to
as
say
many
it.
freaks as there used to be. Now they've got,
Exactly.
they fix them.
They fix them up, or God knows they terminate that. Well, they do all kinds of things, It's they don't make them like they used to, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say my first writing assignment for Fangoria was interviewing one of the freaks, and that was Angelo Rosito, who was one of the little people. Mm-hmm. And he told me about how they all bonded on that film, even though they assembled all these special people from all over the country. They all became this close-knit group of friends.
What's going on here?
Google gobble, one of us.
I actually have never seen Freaks.
Oh,
I know.
Oh boy, it's on Turner Classic Movies this week, I think. So
it
is
it? So amazingly good. He uses all real freaks. It's a touching story. It's a great
Still
story.
holds up.
Oh, it totally holds up.
Very relevant.
Released in
today.
1932.
Yeah,
So for the time, that must have been.
People were completely. I mean, if you think about it, it's sort of weird because Todd Browning is using these freaks, these circus people, paying them money, giving them work. That's the positive side. The negative side to some people at that time were like he was exploiting them, and he was using them as the horror factor in the movie, just looking at them.
Right.
And so a lot of people were very upset over this movie. To me, it's an all-time classic. It's just...
Yeah, the studio dumped the film. They didn't know what to do with it. But even though the freaks they're not really the villains. They wind up being the heroes of the story. It's the human characters who are the true monsters.
The human
what
characters...
makes the movie so powerful.
Exactly.
Did this come out before or after Dracula?
It came after Dracula, a year after.
And it was filmed after Dracula as well? So
yes.
And was Dracula a success?
Oh, it was a huge hit.
So
Came out Valentine's Day in 1931.
He finishes Dracula.
Yeah.
He's big shit, and now he goes and does Freaks.
Right.
Yeah.
And freaks everybody out pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It sabotaged his career.
But
pretty
I
much
love
for a
the
while.
fact that the humans got their comeuppance. They really deserved it. I mean, it was this beautiful woman at the circus who just thought her, didn't stink, and that she was going to mess around with this midget. Just, she knew she could make him fall in love with her.
Kind of like you at the office with Fangoria. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I get, no, it's not like that. But it's a great story, great story. On February 16th, 1990, we got Nightbreed, directed by your friend Clive Barker. You want to give us a little?
Oh, dear Debbie, it's so great to be here again. I'm so excited to be working with Fangoria.
I never have to find a clip of him. I just go to you. Did you like this movie, Tony?
Yeah,
Half in the bag in a car on the side of the road.
Yeah, we got to get the traffic sounds.
The film was pretty much sabotaged by a lot of studio interference. I'd love to see Clive's version, director's cut, and there's always the hope that one day they'll be able to reassemble the film in relation to Clive's actual vision, because there was a lot of tampering that kind
Right.
of really hurt the movie, and then it
The original movie
bombed
was
and-
over 2 hours long. His version of it.
Right. But the film lost a lot when they chopped it up and they did reshoots, and Clive was very unhappy with the final film. And then they dumped the film. They made it seem like a slasher movie when it was pretty much the ultimate monster movie.
Right. You know, it was funny. It certainly wasn't Hellraiser for me, but it was really, really good movie. And he had like a Clive Barker fan association. You know, it had a really fancy name to it. I remember quite a few years back reading about it. And they were just so pro Nightbreed. They were just, couldn't support it enough. They were just, this is the most underrated movie ever made. So there's a lot of people that feel really strongly about this movie to this day.
It's another movie where the monsters are the heroes.
Yeah.
The humans are the villains in the story.
Just like in a lot of Twilight Zones, isn't that true? And then on February 19th, 1993, just like yesterday, Army of Darkness.
There you go.
That was the third in the trilogy by Sam Raimi. The original title, the working title at least, was Medieval Dead. So it would be part of like Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Medieval Dead.
And this is where he completely turned the corner and went comedy, horror,
Yeah.
full blown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strange. Oh, we have a quote? We have
Yeah,
a,
I think we
a
have
clip.
a-
Let's go.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick. It's a 12-gauge double-barreled Remington. S-Mart's top of the line. You can find this in the sporting goods department.
And there you go.
The change, the transition there from Evil Dead 1.
Very serious.
Evil Dead 2, where
Semi-comic.
yeah, a little bit of and then Evil Dead 3,
Over the
Army
top.
over the top. What do you make of that? I mean, Evil Dead 1 was so scary and dark, and there was nothing funny about it at all, disturbing. And then all of a sudden, Raimi starts like making his transition.
It's almost like he
Was it
remade
intentional?
it, right?
Oh, it was definitely intentional.
Yeah.
I think he just felt it was time to send the whole series up and make a Three Stooges movie.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It definitely was.
I mean, it's a fun movie, but I try to watch. I remember when I first saw it. It was at the London Film Festival. I laughed through the whole movie, but I can never sit through it again. It was just so silly. Try to recapture that. I don't think it holds up.
You know, it's funny that the fans will hate me for this, but I was so in love. Well, first of all, the two blew my mind, changed my life. Army of Darkness, however, I loved it. And then as soon as it got into too much of the castle fighting, I was like,
It was too
It
silly.
kind of lost me.
Well,
Like when he was alone with the book and the, getting I liked all that stuff. But then the fight sequences, it just got to be too much.
yeah, I remember seeing it, laughing, going, "This is funny," but I don't remember going to watch it again. Like Evil Dead 1 to
Yeah,
watch
that's
that again and
amazing.
again.
Again
Yeah.
and again.
That was just that was incredible.
Yeah.
What's going on with Raimi and his relationship with horror? I know he has that production company, Skeleton Key. Is that him?
No, Ghost House.
Ghost House. You think he'll return to the genre
I
at
think
all?
eventually he will. He still has a few. I think he's going to probably give up after the third Spider-Man. But then the next movie he might be doing is The Hobbit. Peter Jackson isn't going to do it. He had a big falling out with New Line, and they're talking to Sam Raimi about taking over that.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think eventually he might do another horror film. There's talks he might even do a fourth Evil Dead movie one of these days.
And
But-
you must have interviewed Raimi
Oh
from
yeah,
time
plenty
to
of
time.
times. Yeah.
But aren't they
True
also,
horror fan.
Yeah, definitely a big horror fan, but he likes all genres. He used horror as kind of as a stepping stone.
Springboard.
Yeah. He the other reason why he made Evil Dead, he wanted to break into the movies, and he saw horror films were making money.
I'm sorry, Debbie. That's
that's
got to
okay.
complete this thought here. The guy who did the special effects on Evil Dead 1, it was low budget film, really did well. Did he go on to do more stuff or?
Well, he worked on most of Sam's movies, but he stayed. His name's Tom Sullivan. He pretty much stayed in the Midwest, Michigan area, working on low budget films there. For some reason, he never really didn't, move to California.
Because I think he did a
and
great
pursue it.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your turn, Deb.
Weren't they talking about remaking the original
That's
Evil
right.
Dead?
Yep. They do have plans to do a remake. It's stalled.
Not directed by Sam Raimi.
No, Sam Raimi would produce it. but that's kind of stalled. It hasn't gone much further. But I think eventually they'll get to it.
Yes,
but some of the
I'm
recent
very
remakes
sure.
haven't been successful, so maybe
There's a light at the end of the
yeah.
tunnel,
So
folks.
hopefully that'll be cooling off for a while.
Well, on February 18th, 1954, John Travolta was born. And now we all love him. Not only for this movie, which I don't know why.
Disco
we're playing-
sucks.
I don't know why.
Still sucks.
But we did love him, on the other hand, for Carrie, 1976. And he started his very first feature film. He was doing TV, but his first feature film was The Devil's Reign in 75. And
With Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah.
William Shatner.
Tom
Skerritt. Ida
Tom
Lupino.
Skerritt. All these guys are still working that are alive. But that's I thought for mentioning Carrie, it was certainly worth bringing up John Travolta.
Did he return to the genre at any point?
Well, he kissed James Gunn not too long ago, according to the tabloids. But besides that, he didn't really.
That was a
return
horror
to this.
show, but
didn't really return to the genre. That was the closest he came.
No, I think the closest is probably either The Punisher, which are more action films. Face
Off was
Yeah.
kind of science
action
fiction.
film, science fiction. Yeah.
If you want, we have another. Before we get to Dr. Acula, we have one more written ghost story. If you want to hear it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Rodwin writes, I live in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. About like a year ago, a girl was murdered like 5 minutes away from my house. Everyone in the neighborhood was talking about seeing a weird, crazy guy running around the streets. One night at about 9 p.m., me and some of my friends went biking around the school, which is like 1 minute from my house. One of my friends went to the bushes and took care of business while I was alone. I was just standing there with my bike waiting. I looked and I saw a guy running towards me, so I biked away quickly. I then turned around and the person disappeared, and when I was going to find my friend from a distance, I saw someone lying down in the parking lot. So then I quickly biked home and my friend followed. Hard to believe, but true.
So what?
No,
He saw somebody?
I think the thing was that I missed, sort of, was that someone was laying down in the parking lot. And it was weird.
That sounds like any weekend at Tony's house.
I know. There's many people lying down in his parking lot.
Well, thanks for sending that in to Dee and Debbie at FangoriaRadio.com.
Thanks, Rodwin.
Okay, so that's it for this week in horror history.
That's it.
Time now for Dr. Acula to do their thing. Dr. Acula, are you there?
Here.
Hey, man. How's it going, boys?
What's up?
What's up? Lou Dog, Rob Acula, Bert Vegas, Rob, Billy, Petey Poison, Mikey Dada. There's 7 of you guys. It's almost like the 7 dwarfs on there.
Yeah.
The 7 guineas. I'm allowed to say that I married one. Okay, so, but 7 guys, man. Have you thought about the reality of splitting the money 7 ways? It's
what money?
I don't.
Yeah. There is no money to split.
But when it comes, you got to think about kicking out at least 2 guys. Okay, keep that in mind. Somebody's going.
We're actually going to bring that up tonight.
If you're gonna do it on the air.
Yeah, Bill.
We're actually just do
Sorry, listen, we love you, dude. But That's the end of
Dr.
the ride.
Acula are a seriously horror influenced grindcore band. I know you guys aren't grindcore, but that's how you're being defined. Don't you think that all this? I always thought the metal community splitting everything up really screwed it up for everybody. Pretty much, it really narrows down the listening audience. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, you like grindcore? I'm not talking to you because I like hardcore.
Yeah, like is it that crazy between the core kinds of music fans?
Not really, because a lot of cores are kind of like hooked together in some way. Like there's all influences from everywhere.
So a grindcore fan could like blastcore and could like hardcore, as long as it's like just
Core.
Just yeah.
It's core. It's cool.
As long as it's mental.
Letters in it.
It's just 4 letters in it, and you're willing to like take a kick to the head.
Exactly.
With a pair of steel-toed boots.
Right.
You're good. So you guys got any shows coming up?
Yeah, we actually have one really important show. We're actually doing a contest to play the Bamboozle Festival, which is in May.
Oh yeah.
The show we're playing is on March 4th, and it's actually in the city. It's at the Lion's Den, which is on Sullivan Street, I believe.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
I've been
That's
there.
Bamboozle is Bam Margera's festival, right?
No, it's just like this huge festival. Like every famous band is playing.
Yeah, but isn't Bam behind that whole thing? I mean, that's why they call it Bamboozle.
No, actually, I don't think so.
Yes, it is. What are you, high?
No,
Wrong kid to
not
ask.
right now.
Wrong one.
They just want on there. They don't want to know about it.
But it's like tons and tons, like 100 bands playing or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot.
And so who else is a whole bunch of bands are playing at the Lions Den?
Yeah, it's 11 bands, including us, and it's pretty much just a battle. One of the bands makes it to Bamboozle. There's like a whole bunch of rounds. We're on one of the rounds, so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's happening on March 4th. If
March
you're in the New
4th,
York
yeah,
City
yeah.
area, come down
Definitely.
and support Dr. Acula. All right, so you got you have a new CD as well that people can find out more about by going to your myspace.com/bloodsucker.
Yeah. Also, we just got on a Merch Direct, which is it's clothing company pretty much. They're putting all our T-shirts out and CDs, distributing all our stuff. So it's actually merchdirect.net/Dracula, Dr. Acula. So
I'm looking at these awesome pictures of you guys, and you're wearing like surgical gear
I
and stuff.
love those pictures.
Fun
They're
photos.
awesome.
Fun votes.
Is that Debbie Rochon in the middle?
It is.
Debbie, you were there.
I loved it.
Lose striking resemblance.
And that's a little bit of sacrilege over here. The next picture is a little Last Supper vibe going on there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are fucked up. All right, but I mean that in the best possible way. All right, let's hear some more music from Dr. Acula. What are you going to play for us, guys?
We're gonna play a song called "Shocker on Shock Street." It's actually on our CD that we have out now. It's the CD on Slob.
Shocker on Shock Street, Dr. Acula on Fangoria Radio,
Yeah.
Sirius Channel 102.
All right.
Yeah! Dr. Acula.
Yeah!
What was the title of that song again, guys?
Shocker on Shock Street.
Shocker on. Are all the titles from R.L. Stein books?
Yeah, they are.
That's awesome.
What happens when you run out of R.L. Stein books? Where do you go next?
There's like over 100, so.
That damn R.L. Stein is damn prolific.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get sued, but whatever.
No, I don't know if you can actually. I think that book titles are not like copyrightable somehow.
No, they're not.
Oddly, yes.
That's one down.
That's one. Yeah. So I don't think you have a problem. Well, you'll find out. You hear from R.L. Or maybe R.L.'s not. Maybe R.L. is a hardcore fan. Somehow I doubt it.
Nah, I heard he was. He was really into like Cannibal Corpse and shit.
Yeah. So, all right. So everybody should check you out. If you're in the New York area, the big show is on March 4th
Yes.
at the Lions Den. This is looking for a spot on the Bamboozle 2007 Festival. And also, you got a show coming up near your hometown, right? March 17th?
Yeah, that's probably our biggest show after that. March 17th, it's in Comac.
With Job for a Cowboy at
Yeah.
McCoy's in Comac. I think I saw Cody play there once, my son.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, pleasure. Good to have you on the show. Thanks a
you.
lot for
Thank
being on
you.
Fangoria
Great
Radio.
job.
Thanks
Good
a lot.
job.
Very much.
Dr.
Thanks.
Acula, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. So, Debbie,
Woo. Yeah.
I think we got coming up next. We're going to talk to those people from Ghost Stories.
EVK.
Not EPK.
EVP.
EVP.
Correct.
That should be written down somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's written down right here. Al Rubber and David Rain of Fangoria TV's Ghost Stories.
It's Ryan. That much I know. David Ryan.
David Ryan?
And Mr. Rubber.
Al Gruber. Okay, so we'll be talking with them. That's a TV show. That's that you can see on Fangoria.tv. This is the kind of stuff that we're developing at Fangoria. It's not just about playing old movies, which of course we do as well, but it's about original content. And like Screamography.
Yes.
Which I really like, the one I saw on that director. What's his name?
Which one? Don Cascarelli?
No.
There's so many. There's
from Pan's Labyrinth.
Guillermo
del Toro. Yeah, really like that.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And we've got.
I hope he wins the Oscar, please.
Yeah, well, he's up for a lot.
I know.
Ghost Stories.
He deserves it.
EVP. So let's get a trivia question out there. Let's give away something because we are the givers.
Okay.
What do you got? First of all, what are we giving away?
We're giving away a ghost story appropriately. It is Dance with the Dragon by E.F. Watkins. And
which is an Epi 2004 winner, whatever that is.
Yes. Very kindly sent to us by...
Amber Quill Press.
Thank you very much. And the question is, it is widely believed that ghosts loathe holy water and are unable to cross any water running over ground. What exactly is holy water?
What exactly is holy water? 1-888-4102-102, 1-888-4102-102. And I'm going to throw in Die You Zombie Bastards, the original motion picture soundtrack, plus this bottle of Crystal Geyser water.
Really?
Just trying to make it a $17 value.
Okay, excellent. I thought maybe you were going to throw in...
And this pen.
And a pen.
And that big pen.
Half-used
right
pen. Very good.
1-888-4102-102, and a packet of sugar.
All right. Fair
None of
enough.
that cheap shit either. All right, we're taking a break. We're coming back with the, I don't know, what is their jobs? Al and David. What do they do?
They do, David produces the show.
Okay.
And Al is one of the head ghost hunters.
Are any of them in this room?
They're all by phone.
By phone?
They're at conventions, haunted conventions.
Oh, right. Yeah, one of them's at an actual EVP convention down in Florida.
Correct.
All right, well, we'll talk to them, get their ghost stories, and maybe some more of your ghost stories when we return with more Fangoria Radio on Sirius Channel 102.
You're listening to Fangoria Radio on Sirius Channel 102.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
Check.
It's on.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Seems like the easiest question of the night is the hardest.
I think Dr. Acula drove the listeners away. That's some hardcore shit right there.
It is hardcore.
Yeah, man.
It is.
It's not for everybody.
It's not, but it is tight, as Ian from the 516 says.
That's right.
It's some tight hardcore shit.
That's right. Dorothy out there was digging on it too. The
Yeah,
receptionist.
I know.
You look at her, you wouldn't know she was that hardcore.
No.
She wanted to go in there and start throwing some kicks.
She had her knife out.
Yeah. She was going to
Ready to
shank the
cut
guitar
time
player,
line. Yeah.
but I pulled her off him.
Out of love.
Out of love. Well, Debbie, what was the trivia question again?
Basically, in a nutshell, what is holy water?
What is holy water?
Yeah.
Can I take a guess with that? All those good gifts on the line.
It's the easiest question. I asked what specific house in England is the most haunted. There was an answer.
You got that right.
Very complicated questions. There was many answers and many right answers.
Maybe we got to raise the stakes.
I think,
Throw
what?
your-
Raise it right now.
Are you wearing a bra? Throw that in the pile.
No, what's even better than
You're
that?
not?
I'm serious. No, by the way, I'm not. This, a totally cool, it's very hard to get it here, Asian horror DVD. This is, what's the name of it?
Abnormal Beauty. From the director of The Eye and Bangkok Dangerous.
Come on, guys. This is serious stuff.
So now what do we
Tartan
got?
Home Video.
Yeah, we took everything out of here. We have I don't know what's in the
I
pile
don't know what's going
anymore.
on. Well, there was a DVD of...
A book. We had that book in there.
A ghost book.
We had the soundtrack for Zombie...
Die You Zombie
Bastards.
Bastards. Okay.
The bottle of water and the big... and the
packet of sugar.
And the packet of sugar.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I flipped way too far back. But we had a wonderful ghost book.
Yeah, here it is. Dance with the Dragon.
Okay.
All right, so now we're up in the ante. Oh, so now you call it.
Oh, now you're calling, right?
This was an Epi.
That's
This
okay,
is
that's
Epi
okay.
winner 2004.
That's okay. I'm telling you. So we got the book. We have the Die You Zombie Bastard soundtrack, packet of sugar, bottle of water, and now we have the Tartan Home Video.
$2 cash right on the top.
$2 cash.
2 singles.
I throw in another
packet of sugar. Oh, now
and
there they are.
the Asian horror DVD called
Die
You Zombie Bastards.
Abnormal Beauty.
It's an amazing Asian horror film.
All right,
guys.
let's go to Cameron in Florida. Cameron, it's Dee and Debbie on Fangoria. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Okay, so do you know the answer to the question?
I assume a priest blesses the water.
Why not?
Yes, that's the answer.
Yes.
Boy, Debbie, was that ever an overreaction on your part?
Well, again, they taped me from last night. What can I say?
All right, so now you've got all this.
You have 2 packets of sugar, 2 single dollars.
$2 and the original motion picture soundtrack, Die You Zombie Bastards. The book.
You couldn't get through on your other phone number. I called the 102, and I couldn't get through, so I called the old number, and I went through.
Oh, cool. I'm taking
Phone
back my
problem.
$2 then. No, putting that in there. I'm no liar. Okay.
2 packets of sugar, don't forget, and the water.
Cameron, thanks for calling in. Hold on a second, and
you,
we'll hook you
Cameron.
up, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, keep listening to Fangoria Radio.
Just by the way, the other part of the answer is supposed to be technically water that runs south. It's supposed to flow south and being blessed by a priest. But,
I didn't know that.
With the difficulty of...
Getting south running water?
Yeah. They just bypass that part. But technically, it's supposed to be flowing south.
Why?
Just so you know. I don't know. That's you'd have to ask the big guy upstairs why.
I'm having an EVP experience. I'm hearing whispering voices.
I don't know. Maybe we should talk to Al.
Robber. They told us, that's it. I'm getting them on the phone. Hey, Al, it's Dee and Debbie.
Hey, Dee and Debbie.
How do you pronounce your last name, man?
I pronounce it Robber.
Robber, thank you.
So why just
I
spell
don't
it
know why.
R-O-B-B-E-R?
Robber.
Robber.
Al Robber,
Okay.
thank you.
Al, welcome to Fangoria Radio. You're part of the Fangoria family with your show, with your Fangoria.tv, Ghost Stories, EVP. What do you do for the show, Al?
What do I do?
Yeah.
Well, we go into reputedly haunted houses, and we try to come up with the evidence for or against, a case, whether it is or not haunted.
Now, how many cases have you done over your experience?
Have I personally done? Or
Yeah, personally.
I've personally investigated or consulted on well over 1,000 cases.
And how many turned out to be actual hauntings or paranormal activity of any sort out of the, say, 1,000?
Well, I'm talking about probably maybe a quarter of them have something that leads you towards the belief that there is something going on in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like you see, you know, today. There's a lot of ridiculous shows on TV that are basically every place they go into is haunted, and not only haunted by like a single ghost or entity, you know, usually 7 or 8.
Right, so it's sort of multiple. And for everybody listening at home, EVP stands for?
Electronic voice phenomena.
And phenomena. And how exactly, what is this, like a voice box that records?
Well, you know, today EVP actually is a lot different than when it first came about. Most EVP research started in the 50s, you know, around the 50s, 1950s. Prior to that, some people had gotten voices on tape, but they never knew what they were or what it was about, really. And in the 50s and into the 60s, people started saying, you know, what are these things? What are these anomalies? And putting some scientific types of guards against any random radio waves coming in or whatever. So basically what EVP is, it's a voice captured on a tape, or now today on digital technology, that you can't hear. It's not audible when you're there, when you're recording, or when you're even throwing out the questions. But when you listen back to the tape or to the whatever the digital technology you're using, there's an answer or there's a voice or a comment on there.
Now, you're the guy that's your field of expertise, correct?
I've been doing this for a while, yeah. I don't claim to be an expert in any field.
All
right
right. Okay, I appreciate your modesty. I understand you're at a convention right now with other EVP.
No, it's not an EVP convention. It's actually a convention for the business that I work for down in Orlando.
Oh, okay, because I just imagining. What is
that? Actually, I did attend the American Association for Electronic Voice Phenomena Convention this year in June. They held it down in Atlanta, and I was down there.
What is that like?
Oh, it's incredible because what's happening is EVP. It's not only capturing voices on analog tape anymore. It's expanded. It's expanded so far that it's left me behind. It's you've got people who are capturing physical images, on video equipment, and you've got some incredible research being done where individuals are contacted. I mean, people that you have in mind, a dead relative or a person contacted and coming through. Famous people from history have been coming through on some of the researchers' tapes.
Wow.
In one case, Sarah Estep, who's certainly a pioneer in the field, and a dear friend of mine, she captured what she believes to be a symphony, a Beethoven symphony on tape, part of it, about a minute or a minute and a half of it, and it's incredible.
Wow.
The stuff that's coming through.
Whoa. Okay, how now? I don't understand the EVP phenomenon. Then this isn't necessarily if it's a symphony, that would seem to be like
symphony.
Some
You've got a lot of people playing, huh?
Yeah.
You've got a complete orchestra coming through. Yep.
And that's not some bizarre bleed through from a radio box that could be in the room and picking. You know what I'm saying? Like for the non-believers, like how would you explain that just wouldn't be some?
Yeah, it's very hard to explain in a case like that, but it's very simple to explain. When you're asking direct questions and getting direct answers, when your name is being called out, as mine has been called out a number of times on tape, and that's quite frightening when you say, "Whoa, somebody on the other side," they know you.
You're saying, Al?
You've had that happen?
Yeah.
You've had people call you?
And others have. I mean, a number of people. I'm not the only one. There's a lot.
No, but I mean, you've experienced.
Yeah, I've had my name on tape.
Can they pronounce your last name, or do they have trouble with it?
They didn't go that far.
Okay.
Just Al.
But what happens is early on it was certainly an argument, and it was a good argument. Random radio waves. But during the 60s and into the 70s, there were recording engineers and scientists who were studying this all over the world, and they were, putting these devices in soundproof rooms and Faraday cages and things, and still getting voices. There was actually experiments done where they took a recorder and put it in a sealed box and dropped it to the bottom of the ocean floor and caught voices.
Wow.
So, it's,
Wow.
Where are these waves coming from?
Yeah.
What's happened is what turned out to be a good argument early on turned out to be a ridiculous argument at this point.
We're talking with Al Robber. Is that right?
Robber.
Close enough, Dave. Close enough.
Yeah,
Robber
close
like.
enough. The EVP expert from Ghost Stories EVP, original content broadcast on Fangoria.tv, which you can see right now by going to Fangoria.tv this weekend. Debbie, you had a question.
Yeah, absolutely. Al, like in the movie White Noise, regardless of what someone may think of the movie White Noise, do you find that people reach out to you much like they would someone like, what's his name, Edwards, John Edwards or something like that, and they sort of like hear something through your technology and then they become sort of addicted to it, like they don't want to let that person go, something that would reflect the storyline of that movie without,
Yeah,
being as hokey as the.
Do they come
movie?
to you for help in contacting
their
people?
There are people that are contacted all the time like this. There are people doing that type of research. I don't do that type of research. My research is only field research. I don't set up every day in my house and record like that gentleman in White Noise and record just trying to get voices. I mean, you're going to get plenty of them if you do that.
Yeah.
What I do is I try to take it into a haunted location and try to get voices which will establish the entity in that location.
But do you ever get loved ones sort of wanting that? Like, I don't want to let go of this person that just died, and this is sort of my the TV, almost like in Poltergeist.
Yeah, of course you do. Everybody wants to
not let go.
Yeah, not let go and to remain in contact. I had a woman who contacted me through a dear friend of mine from Bill Roll, who her husband had passed away, and she was trying to get some voices and she couldn't, and so Bill asked me to contact her, which I did, and I gave her some tips on things she might try to get voices, and like within a week she started getting voices, and she was just the happiest person in the world because she thought that she did get a voice that came through that sounded very much like her husband, her late husband, and what happens is that's where I mean you're kind of bordering on some psychological injuries, you know what I mean, when you're dealing with this if you're not prepared to do it. Another friend of mine was almost driven to suicide. I mean, he lost his business or almost lost his business and almost his family because he just got so deeply into this. He was recording almost 24 hours a day. He was driving down the highway recording and trying to listen back.
Yeah, he is the Michael Keaton character from White Noise.
Yeah,
I mean, he's turned
that's
into
what Michael
that.
Keaton evolved to in White Noise. You're right.
Yeah.
We're talking with Al. I'm trying to get this last name. Robber.
Think of like Stick Up. Robber.
Yeah, there you go.
From Ghost Stories EVP. And by the way, if you have any questions for Al about EVP or about the television, about the show, use the original Sirius phone number, 877-9-SIRIUS. We're having problems with our new number, so 877-9-SIRIUS is the number to call. You said that you're not sort of a guy, for the most part, people don't call you up and say, hey, listen to my tapes. You go to haunted locations to prove or disprove if they're haunted. Tell us a little bit about this week's episode.
This week's episode, I believe, is from the Hotel Maycomber.
Yes.
In Cape May. We actually did 3 shows from Cape May, 2 other haunted structures. And on one end, one aspect, it was just a lot of fun doing the shows with Fangoria. I mean, they're a great group, a great group.
As we well know, we're surrounded by them.
Well, I can tell you, I've dealt with almost all the shows that have come out over the last 25 years, on paranormal phenomena, and Ghost Stories is certainly one of the best I've worked with, and. we were very successful down there at the various locations that we taped at. The Hotel Maycomber itself has a history of it's an older structure. It was built slightly after the turn of the last century in the early 1900s, and it's a big Victorian-style hotel in Cape May.
Do you find that that these hauntings, for lack of a better word, are usually in older structures? You don't find them so much in new contemporaries.
No, you can find them any place. It depends. There's it depends on the situations.
Like your house was built. Dee's house was built on an Indian burial ground.
No, well, apparently it was some Indian in my
They moved the headstones,
my very new
but
house.
they didn't move the graves.
Hey, we were talking about that Michael Keaton movie. What was it called again?
White Noise.
White Noise. A good thing or a bad thing for the world of EVP?
Well, originally the first time I saw it, I thought it was a terrible thing for the world of EVP. But then when I started to...
Why?
Because it was such a misrepresentation of EVP.
Okay.
And but then, then I watched it again. Then I started to see how many people were getting interested in the field, and like the American Association for Electronic Voice Phenomena, which has been around for years, suddenly saw a huge increase in their membership. And now people were looking at it from the point of view that this is something that should scientifically be studied, and it is a viable type of study. I've been working in this field for almost 40 years now, and
you look fabulous, by the way.
I'd say.
I just want to say that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Better 20 pounds ago, but the most important thing to me, my own personal opinion, that's ever happened in the field of psychic phenomena has been EVP.
Mm-hmm. Well, they made, just by the way, Al, I don't know if you know this, but they actually made White Noise Part 2 starring Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, I heard that White Noise Part 2 was coming out.
And I don't know when. Yeah, I guess it's still coming out, so.
Whiter noise.
Yeah, whiter noise.
Whiter, noisier.
We'll see how bad it could get.
Yeah, exactly. Do you consider yourself to be kind of a myth buster in a way? You get these calls. People say, "Yeah, our house is haunted." When you go in, are you skeptical or?
Yeah, you have to go in as a skeptic. You have to. You can never ever assume a haunting. I mean, you need to go in there and say, "All right, well, why do you think your house is haunted?" And as I tried to explain on the show a number of times, every little bit of evidence you get is kind of like a building block that you're putting together to build your case for a haunting. There's like so many misconceptions out there, about hauntings, again, driven by television and movies, that at sometimes it's almost embarrassing, some of the things you see and hear.
Right. Well, the two things that I've seen 2 episodes. There's one, this week's episode in Cape May, right? What was the name of the hotel?
The Hotel Maycomber, yeah.
Yeah, Maycomber. And then I saw the one, was it Lizzie Borden's?
Yeah, that was a pretty neat one, too.
That was pretty neat. But it seemed that both of these places would benefit from you guys coming in and sort of giving it your seal of approval. Yes, there is something going on here. A place in Cape May was called The Boutique. It was a Halloween store.
Actually, it's I have a partner down in Cape May. We do a tour down there, a haunted tour, which I started many years ago. And my partner opened a little shop there, basically just to sell tickets, for the tour. But it turned out to be a really, really neat little shop. She's had a lot of things happening in her store. I mean, there was one summer when everything was flying off the shelves in the store.
And you don't mean like selling like hotcakes?
No, I don't mean like that. I mean like hitting customers in the head and chasing them out of the store, that kind of thing. It wasn't always good for business.
Yeah, well, I thought it was interesting though. This being, or whatever you want to call it, has a sense of humor. It keeps flushing the toilet.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he had some bad clams or something.
Well, my grandfather, my father's father, literally died on the toilet on Christmas Eve night when everybody was sleeping. So maybe a ghost like him, and I'm laughing, but it's very serious.
A whole new meaning too. That smells like something died in there.
Well, this guy who we think is down in the shop is
Cracked
actually
himself
right.
up. Oh my God! Go
Hey,
ahead, Al.
Bob,
Sorry.
light a match in there, for God's sakes.
He's
What
a
the
pit-
hell did you eat? It smells like a rotting body. How long did it take before you went in and found out he was dead?
I didn't.
Well,
find
they
him.
did. They
I
did.
don't. The next Christmas morning.
The next Christmas?
Christmas morning.
Christmas morning? I'm
Christmas-
sorry, Al. It
Listen,
just-
listen.
that just
Listen.
piqued
This
my-
is. Let me just explain it properly. He came home very late from work. He was a very poor man, so he stayed up all night building toys for the kids.
Very
okay?
nice.
So it was like early morning, 5 in the morning, whatever. He wanted to take a number 2 before he went to sleep after all that work.
Lay a deuce.
And
He earned it.
And he had a heart attack and died. So everybody got up Christmas morning, probably an hour or 2 later, and found Dad passed on the toilet.
Plus-
but the gifts were made and wrapped under the tree.
Plus, no bike.
No, he finished everything.
Al Robert, that's actually a line from My Blue Heaven.
Oh.
Al Robert's on the phone with us. He is the host of Ghost Stories EVP, which you can see on Fangoria.tv. Is that on every week, Al?
You know what? I'm not even sure if it's weekly or monthly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's quite a few episodes, and I think they're going to put them into rotation. now.
Yeah, actually, I appreciate being called the host, but actually, there, is in Hornet, New Jersey, which is made up of a few of us. Garrett Husbeth, my partner.
Well, you're the only one who called in, so you're the host.
Okay.
That's how that goes.
That's how you become the host.
Right.
Everybody's going to be watching for you, Al.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Lucky them.
well, anyway, good luck with the show, and I hope
Thank
this is
you.
on to bigger and better things. And okay, one last question. So you go into these, you get invited to, I don't know, prove or disprove the places are haunted. You obviously are hoping it is because this is what you want discovery.
Right.
You know, how often do you walk into a situation where you go, this is bull crap. They're just not pulling your chain, but they're looking, whatever.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah?
I just got an email not too long ago. This person had everything imaginable going on in the house, including demons running through the house and all this other crazy crap,
And he was maybe mentally disabled, do you
Yeah,
find?
well, most of the time they are.
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably say all the time they are. But my first question was, why are you calling me? Why aren't you calling your priest?
Because you can't find Bill Murray's phone number.
Exactly. But there's a lot of strange people out there, and I think one of the things that we try to do on this show, and one of the reasons I got involved with this show, by the way, and my partner Gary got involved with it, is because when we talked to the producer, David Ryan, he was pretty clear cut, right on the exact same page that we were. If we go into a house and nothing happens, we're going to show an investigation. It's going to be more like a reality show,
Right, it's kind of a
Something happens, it
Mythbusters
doesn't
thing.
happen.
Yeah, people want to see that too, I would think.
Right, exactly.
Just the process is I found the process to be very interesting, what you guys go through and the patience it takes to capture these moments.
People don't understand that. We go into the Lizzie Borden house for one weekend. How many hours is that? Imagine what you can be pulling out of that place if you're there, 3, 4, or 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody should check it out. Ghostbusters EVP on Fangoria.tv. Al, thanks so much for calling into the show. And good luck to you, man. I hope to talk to you again.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Here you are, your Sirius EVP list, and as you hang up, you think I went pretty well, you hear Ghostbusters play. Nice job, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Trying to treat him with dignity.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I'm not afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I thought it was appropriate, no?
Absolutely.
He seemed to have a wonderful sense of humor.
Well, I don't know. We were having a good time, but he seemed okay.
Yeah.
Guy listens to freaking Static. How much of a sense of humor can you have?
What would you do if you're listening to Static and all of a sudden you heard that? It's a Ghostbusters song.
Now that's funny.
Now that is funny.
I'd say ghosts have a sense of humor.
Yes. I
Well,
agree.
Debbie, that's it for us.
What do you think? Okay, well, we'll get to the rest of the emails next week then. All right?
Yeah. If you sent us emails, we will read them next week
Yes.
on next week's show, and we'll get some of your opinions. Go see Ghost Rider. Tell us what you think.
Tell us what you
I mean,
think.
so far, Debbie, you and I are the only ones who thought it was watchable.
Yes, out
You
of
know?
the three of us.
Yeah.
No, Hostel
I
as
try.
well.
Yeah, I try not to. I try not to be too critical. I don't know.
I don't know. Did Hostel thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh
from
no, he
Hostel?
hated
He's
it.
like, no, he's got his hand in the middle.
In the middle?
The dictator just has his hand straight out like a Hitler salute.
That's disgraceful. So what did we learn on this show? There's one person in New York with the last name Hitler.
Yes.
And I thought that was outlawed.
And I think we should call them at some point.
Yeah, we forgot to. Hey.
It's springtime.
We're playing his song.
Yeah.
We want to thank Ken Forey, who was a great interview.
Yes.
His new movie is called Devil's
Den.
I keep wanting to say Playground for some reason.
No, that's another movie he did.
And Kareem Hussein, whose movie The Abandoned, he wrote it, comes out next week.
Excellent movie.
Al Robber from Fangoria.tv's Ghost Stories EVP. The band Dr. Acula.
Yeah.
All right, check them out. They're Bloodsuckers. Bloodsucker is the name of their MySpace. Tony Timpone, Mr. Excitement.
Yeah.
Mike Hostel, G.I. Joe Lapari, Ian Scottish, the 516, Dr. Becker, VHD, the Fango TV camera crew in the house. Ooh! And all the Fango fans and listeners and all the great callers. Thanks so much.
And
what?
Tom, the Godfather DeFeo.
Oh, sorry, Tom. See you next week, everybody, on Fangoria Radio, Sirius Channel 102.